Mario Combat is a Flash game that took the world by storm when it released on November 26th of 2008. Over the years, the game has amassed legendary runs in multiple categories and stands tall amongst the speedrunning community as a sort of beacon of hope and the start of a platinum era for speedrunners and enjoyers of the game alike. But what does it really mean to speedrun Mario Combat? And more importantly, why should you? Well, for me and many others, it's all about the love for the game. This is the world record history of Mario Combat. So what is Mario Combat? Well, it's a game with a simple premise. Platform your way through each stage, punching and brawling with Koopas, also you can take on Bowser at the end of the level. It's just like any other Mario game, only now with the addition of combat, and a special technique that runners managed to discover. On November 26, 2015, a full 7 years to the day after Mario Combat was released, its speedrunning leaderboard page was opened up and the first world record of the Beat the Game category was a 1 minute 50-second run published by a player named Storm Lakitu 2. The original footage is unfortunately lost and the video unavailable, though Storm Lakitu said they completed the run on their first attempt. This record would stand as the only submitted run for a long time. It wasn't until 2 months later when April SR would come by and shatter the previous record with a 1 minute and 21 second run. This run is the first that utilizes and shows off Mario Combat's most important technique, the air kick. By quickly inputting an attack, followed by inputting a jump, then mashing the attack button as much as you can, Mario will fly across large gaps and enemies with ease. This was a powerful technique that could be used to save a lot of time in pretty much every possible spot of the run. April SR was also able to pull off a wall clip, where after inputting the air kick, they hit the wall just right and get placed at the top of it. After quickly going through the stage, April arrived at Bowser, the most challenging part of the run. Where the rest of the run is up to the player's movements and platforming abilities, Bowser was unpredictable and could easily end an incredible run in a second. Bowser needs to be killed before he enters his second cycle of attacks, meaning if you don't manage to kill Bowser before he starts spewing fireballs everywhere, it's going to be impossible to get close and you'll lose a massive amount of time. Fortunately, that was not the case, as April successfully one-cycled Bowser. There were a lot of swift movements featured throughout the run, but there were also a lot of moments and errors where they got stomped by enemy Koopas or fell into lava. It was a fine run, but it was clear that plenty more time could be saved. Another 2 months later, and that's exactly what happened. Runner The Ultimate Gamer 95 broke the record by another sizable margin with a 1 minute and 1 second run. Ultimate Gamer had much cleaner overall movement compared to the past runs we saw, but what really helped save time was a new trick called elevator skip. On the way to Bowser, you ride this platform up with Koopas that spawn in along the sides, and once you defeat these Koopas, it will put you into the Bowser boss fight. But there was a glitch whereby pressing Control and Tab twice to switch your browser tab away and back, this would cause the Koopas to fall off before you get on the elevator, making the game think you defeated them and placing you into the boss arena. The run certainly wasn't perfect, but it was an excellent display of what was possible currently, and because of that reason, this run would hold the record for almost a full year. Runners attempted to take the crown, but no one came very close until February 24th, when Mr. Jabu Jabu entered the ring with a time of 53 seconds, the first sub 1 minute record. Unfortunately, no footage is currently available for this run, but that very same day, Ultimate Gamer 95 shot back with a 54 second run, just a fraction slower than Jabu Jabu's time. This was an impressive run to say the least, using the Control Tab glitch to even wall clip and skip the elevator much sooner than previously done, but still, it just wasn't quite enough to take back the world record crown. Mr. Jabu Jabu's record would hold there for yet another full year. Over this time, a few up-and-coming runners went for the record and they showed promise. One of these runners was King J0444, a player that would soon show he had big plans for the Mario Combat scene. The runs were starting to slow down and nobody came very close to breaking the record. It was pretty quiet for a while. That was until Magnetic Duck entered the scene, a player whose very first run submitted was a world record at 47 seconds flat. This run was blazing fast, with each air kick and Control Tab skip being utilized practically to perfection. During the Bowser fight, things got dicey, as Magnetic Duck was a little slow to kill him and he started his second cycle fireball attack. But just barely, he was able to secure the kill and take the world record. And this is where the beat the game percent speedruns are at still to this day, as not much has changed since 2018. And with Adobe Flash Player being dead, it's unsure if you could even do the control tab skip anymore, meaning this just might be the final world record of this category. Mario Combat runs would stagnate once again for another year. Runners had found seemingly all the tricks they could and had no reason to play much anymore. The community was seemingly lost with what to do, and eventually decided to introduce some brand new categories, these being glitchless percent and glitchless genocide percent. Glitchless genocide percent consists of the players taking out every possible enemy that they can during the course of the run. King J0444 was the first world record holder with a time of 2 minutes and 33 seconds. His run saw practically no competition for an extended period of time, seeing as how after a little less than a year his record was broken by himself. He began running this category in May of 2019, and since then only one other player by the name of Blocks has been able to take the world record, but not before King J took it right back only a mere 2 days later. And this is where the record stands currently, with a full genocidal run by King J clocking in at 1 minute and 51 seconds. The other category, glitchless percent, is the same as a full run of beat the game percent, but now without the use of any wall clippings or control tab glitches. The air kick technique is still utilized in all runs, as it's not so much of a glitch as it is just exploiting the use of Mario's momentum. Plus, it's the main reason these runs are able to be done so quickly in the first place. On March 3rd, 2019, the glitchless percent category was born, and the first person to hold the record was a player by the name of Pepsi at 1 minute and 50 seconds. But much like what we saw originally in the beat the game category, the run that follows suit would absolutely demolish its time. Only this time around it wasn't 2 months later, but 5 days later. Typhlosion's time of 1 minute and 8 seconds stood proud at the top of the leaderboards. The run saw lots of small stutters and errors, but was still on fantastic pace heading into Bowser, where the fight would go quite beautifully, giving Typhlosion a record that would last at number 1 for yet another year. During this time, we saw a few notable players begin their climb of the glitchless category percent as well, like King J, the Koopa genociding legend, and Astix, a runner who was set to rival the top very soon. In February of 2020, just like King J, we'd see Blocks make his way from genocide percent over to glitchless percent. Blocks was on exceptional pace going into Bowser, with very few errors being made, but then this happened.
No! No! Oh!
Somehow, against the odds, even after falling off the stage, he was able to clutch out the run by narrowly shaving 2 full seconds off the world record. Blocks previously held the genocide world record for 2 days, but this time he was set to hold the glitchless world record for much longer than that. That was until a runner by the name of Japega showed up a month later. Japega's run was practically flawless in its execution. Once again, we see an incredibly close victory over Bowser, and Japega manages to take the crown from World of Blocks by shaving yet another 2 seconds off the run. From here, I'm sure you'd expect me to tell you another year has passed since the world record, as that seems to be the pattern. But there's one player who remained dormant, one player who has been waiting in the wings and is ready to take their chance to shine. Only 22 days later, a runner by the name of Astix made his way to the ring, and with a run that consisted of lightning fast moves, elegant precision, and an unrivaled tenacity, Astix would show everything he had and take the current world record for Mario Combat's glitchless percent at a time of 1 minute and 2 seconds. So what's next for Mario Combat? It's been over a year since Astix's record has been touched, and this is the longest time in Mario Combat history that a record has gone unrivaled. Where sub 1 minute previously seemed quite possible, it's now in question whether or not it can be done, or rather, who is going to be the one to do it. Well, lately things seem to be shaking up a bit. For the first time in a year, a player has taken second on the leaderboards and gotten ever close to Astix's record. This player's name is Frigonometry. Following closely behind him is a player by the name of Shyntos, also appearing suddenly with a very respectable 5th place. But his time was really close to World of Blocks' 4th place run, so you might as well call it a tie. These two combatants came out of nowhere, and the community is unsure whether they have the ability to take the world record for themselves or not. Only time will tell if they see the game in a different light from the rest of us and are able to reign supreme. Or if Astix will stand atop his glorious mountain forever. Maybe just maybe, we'll get to see the 1 minute barrier broken someday. Thanks for watching the world record history of Mario Combat.